Hey guys, so I just wanted to take a few minutes to respond to the end of Mr. Stringer's video and lecture on the jilting of Granny Weatherall. So he invites discussion about his interpretation of the story at the end and says, we won't hurt his feelings, so I want to take him at his word. I do disagree with him about the end of this story. He talks about aspects of it being very comfortable when you are facing death, when you're thinking about what comes at the end. And he does make some good points, in which he says that Catherine Ann Porter is building in some very, very comforting ideas. I agree with that, but I think that given that this is a story written in modernism with modernism ideas, and the last paragraph, I don't think that this story is as comforting as he finds it. And that may be completely my Christian worldview, which I'm fine with. If that's how I'm interpreting a story, then I'm okay with that. I disagree with him that this is comforting, and I think that Catherine Ann Porter is giving us a pretty dark picture. Remember that picture I showed you, the descent into modernism, where people are slowly giving up different beliefs and doctrines about Christianity. And I think that Catherine Ann Porter spends a lot of the story talking about the comfort that Granny Weatherall, or Ellen, has gotten in her faith. She wants the priest to be there. She's praying with her rosary. So this is a faith that she has followed all of her life. But when we get to the last paragraph, and this is on page 418, that last paragraph there, she says, God give a sign. And it's at this point that she knows that Granny, or Ellen, has accepted the fact that, yes, she is about to die for real this time. And then the narrative says, for the second time, there was no sign. Again, no bridegroom and the priest in the house. She could not remember any other sorrow because this grief wiped them all away. Oh no, there's nothing more cruel than this. I'll never forgive it. She stretched herself with a deep breath and blew out the light. Now, I think that this is a good symbol or allegory, mirroring of a parable in the Bible. This Mr. Stringfield talks about that idea of the man in the flood and not recognizing a sign. But if we think biblically, there are a couple of things that we as Christians might want to note, knowing that Ellen Weatherall is a religious person. She seems to be Catholic, so that she holds many of the same beliefs we do. We'd certainly still be using the same religious text that we do, the same Bible, largely the same Bible. And that is the idea that Christ is the bridegroom and we, the church, are the bride. That there will be a reconciliation of the two of us at some point. There's also the parable of the virgins keeping the lamps lit, waiting for their bridegroom to come. And that's who Granny Weatherall is. And it says that here, for the second time, there was no sign. So that reunification between her and Christ that she anticipates that God is going to be there to welcome her into heaven, as Scripture teaches us. And Porter is saying that that is not what happened in this story, that Granny Weatherall was disappointed. She could not remember any other sorrow because this grief wiped them all away. So I think all this comfort that Stringfield points to is false. I think it's built there just for Porter to wipe away at the end. It seems to be Porter's position that Granny Weatherall's beliefs through all of her life, all of these things that gave her comfort, amount to nothing at the end. That when she dies, there is no one and nothing waiting for her on the other side. And yes, that is a very grim picture, but it is one that would fit in with a modernist perspective, that people have given up on miracles, that they've seen such horrors in everyday life that they cannot reconcile that with the comfort that an honest faith would give a Christian. They can't make that meet within their worldview. So I do unfortunately disagree with Mr. Stringfield, but I think he makes his point very well. I just don't think he takes into account this last paragraph and the time period in which Catherine Anne Porter was writing. All right, have a great day.